Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival, where I am feeling much better and not in any pain, really. A little bit of soreness, but that's about it. Uh-oh, I got to sing a song. Yeah, the Married with Children song. It's an old Frank Sinatra song, if anybody remembers it. Love and marriage goes together like the horse and carriage. Anyway, that's enough of that. So if you guys can hear me, let me know because I hope I'm not singing to myself because I don't like doing that. It's like annoying to hear myself talk. Stupid censorship. Homestead Oss in the house. How's it going? Trusting God First is here. We the people prepping has jokes today. He's trying to offend as many people as possible. One of my favorite pastimes. I don't think my correct. Oh, now I just muted myself. Let's see. I can hit the edit button. Live chat details. Anyway, I don't know. Let me know if you can hear me okay, because I think it might be playing through the wrong microphone. I think we'll see. I'm not really sure. It's not letting me adjust my volume settings currently. So, yeah. Can you hear me? All right, 5 by 5. That's good. I don't know which microphone is playing the audio because the webcam actually has a microphone. So, yeah, let's hope not, because as far as I know, that microphone does not work very well. Yeah, well, I've never really used it for anything. Native and Devout Preppers, how's it going? Delta Dawn, I really like that song. There's a YouTuber, or actually, it was the winner of The Voice 2018, 2019. Chevelle Shepherd has a cover of that song. Very good song. Yeah. So I'm keeping up with my antibiotics, trying not to make this problem worse. I'm a little swollen right here. Can you tell? Because I can almost see it there on the camera, almost. But hey, I'm waiting for my coffee. See, it's empty, and I got it sitting right here in the French press. So yeah, just a couple minutes, I'll be pouring it in there. Hopefully, I don't forget and end up having incredibly strong coffee, which isn't a bad thing. I like strong coffee. So today I intend to talk about the book, the first book in the series, A Borrowed World by Franklin Horton. Not everyone was able to read the book in time because I just announced that I was doing this a few days ago. But yeah, if you are able to do so, or was not able to do so, I am not going to give away too many spoilers. I will give away a few, so keep that in mind. Josh Connor, how's it going, man? Haven't talked to you in a while. I need to talk to you more because, yeah, I like talking to you. So, how's it going? Troll Patrol in the house. We the people prepping. He says I gotta quit feeding the trolls. They're breeding and spreading to his channel. Happy to provide. You don't make it unless you have trolls. That's when you know you've made it in YouTube. Is when people start trolling your channel. So that's awesome. Yeah, I'm not in too much pain anymore. It's not too bad. So yeah, you missed a deer. Well, I missed several deer because I haven't been hunting this season. So yeah, I miss them all the time. But if you steer a little more to the left or a little more to the right, you might get a couple of them. So keep that in mind. Susie, hello from Texas. How's it going down there? I hope your weather's warmer than mine, although it's gotten up into the 40s, I believe, today, and supposed to be in the 40s for the next few days until it gets into the teens and 20s. Kevin Grip, thank you for the super chat. Toward my next spear adventure. Yeah, that was an adventure, wasn't it? It was suggested to me that I try it on pieces of fruit instead of wood, but the reason I was trying it against wood is because I wanted to test how strong it actually was to see if I can break the thing or not. So I was attempting to break it because I'm a destructive type of person and I tend to break things. So if I ever do a review on this channel or a real review of a real item other than a hat, I will probably attempt to break the item because that's just what I do. He's only got 30 subs and he's already being trolled. We the people prepping. I encourage everybody to go over there and give him a sub. Tell him the gremlins are in the house and just fill up his channel because he deserves a lot more than 30 subscribers. He really does. So, yeah, please get on that. Well, you guys, I would appreciate it. I really would. All right, the book. Let me get started on the book before I start talking crazy and people start talking crazy back because that tends to happen in these live streams. I don't know how or why, but yeah. Who was it? Yeah, it was We the People. He was saying, I hope he isn't he said he hope he isn't offending anybody because he wasn't trying to be offensive. Well, I'm disappointed because I'm trying to be offensive almost daily. One of my favorite pastimes is trying to offend and trigger people on a daily basis. So I think it's quite hilarious when people get offended and triggered, and it makes me smile and laugh. So I try to do it as much as possible. So keep that in mind if you're watching any of my future videos. Speaking of videos, the last one I posted, the little news thing I compiled together very quickly, that was demonetized. They really didn't like it. So they said nope. And I am still attempting to upload it to Rumble. I don't know. Getting things monetized on Rumble takes a long time. It really does. So that video will probably be another day or two before it goes up over there. But thanks, YouTube. We appreciate it. That being said, I'm considering alternate means of uploading things even to my Patreon account because Patreon is now being censored because most of the Patreon videos that you view are still uploaded to YouTube. So I'm looking into alternate methods. I tried it on Rumble once, didn't work out very well. I'm going to see about doing BitChute. BitChute just takes forever just to upload a video. I've waited for videos to upload over there, literally just upload for, like 3 to 4 days before it went online. So that's, yeah, and I'll tell you a little bit later about the other platforms I've considered. But anyway, let's get into this book. The book is called The Borrowed World. This is the first book in the series. The author is Franklin Horton. A little bit about Franklin Horton is he used to travel a lot for his employment, and in his travels, he had a lot of time to think. He was going 200 to 300 miles from his home, and he was thinking about what could happen, playing the what if game that I've talked about in a couple of videos. Play the what if game. If you don't know what it is, it's whenever you're in any kind of a situation, whether it just be driving, sitting in a parking lot waiting, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you think about what could happen while I'm here. What could happen? You play the what if game. A lot of people might think that's being paranoid. I think it's trying to better yourself and get yourself more prepared just by considering alternate possibilities to normal situations. So that's what this person, the author of this book, had been doing, and it really drove him to become a survivalist and a prepper. He used to do, I'm not sure if he still does, but he used to do a lot of hiking, a lot of traveling and things like this. So, hiking and survival really go together very well. Hoodow is in the house. How's it going, Hoot? Haven't seen you in a while either. Yeah. Hoot, thank you for the emails you've been sending. I really enjoy the information you share. I really do. So keep them coming, man. I really appreciate that. Yep, being a truck driver, you really have to think about what if. That's really what got me started also is I was driving, up to 1,500 miles or sometime, in some cases, even more than 1,500 miles away from my house. And I started thinking, how would I get back home if this truck won't go? And there was a few occasions where the truck wouldn't go because the truck either broke down, something happened, or various things, accidents, being stuck in traffic for, I think the longest I was ever stuck in a traffic jam was about 8 hours, and I was just sitting there the whole time doing nothing. So yeah, you start thinking about things like this. So yeah, and yeah, that is another reason why I went local also. So there's several primary characters in the first book. The main two would be Jim, the main character, and his buddy Gary, who is basically his friend. They're co-workers, and they start out in two different cars on a business trip. I believe there was a total of 5 or 6 of them. I can't remember exactly because a few of these people didn't make it all the way. Yeah, I think it was 6 of them. The 2 men and the rest of them were females. So basically what happens in the beginning of the book is a terrorist attack. Now, and unlike most survival or apocalypse type books, this one has more of a real overtone. This is things that could really happen. And he goes into how they did it in great detail in this book. So, the common thing around the prepping or survival channels that have read this book is we hope the terrorists don't read this book because it gives them too many good ideas. But needless to say, they conduct a simultaneous attack on the power grid and oil refineries all over the country. Basically shuts down most of the power grid throughout the country and stops the flow of gasoline throughout the country. And this is very very possible. This could be done. Very easily could be done. So yeah, let's hope they're not watching this video either. Yeah. Anyway, that leads to various problems. Obviously, if nationwide power outage happened, water pumps aren't working, so therefore water's not going to be flowing to your house. The fuel pumps aren't working, so you're not going to be able to get gas. Even backup generators for things like cell phone towers have a very limited supply of fuel, and if you can't get fuel to those backup generators, the cell phones do go down within, I believe it's a day to 4 hours to a full day before they shut down. But yeah, everything just, it creates a lot of chaos. A lot of chaos. Yeah, I-80. I've been on I-80 through Wyoming several times. Depends on the day. It's not a bad drive, but yeah, it happens in Texas at almost every year on I-10. Coming between Beaumont and Houston, there's always a lot of fog certain times of the year in that particular area, and it creates a lot of large car pileups almost every single year this happens. So being prepared for how would you get home without your vehicle is a very real thing to think about. But going back into the book, the main character and the rest of them, they were all in two vehicles. They were doing their typical business thing where they were about, I think it was 200 to 300 miles from their home, and all this terrorist thing happens. Now, they were sleeping in a hotel. It happened overnight. When they woke up, their alarms didn't go off, the clocks were out, things like this. And yeah, they didn't realize what was going on. Nobody really knew. They got some information about it through cell phones and other means rather quickly in the book, and they figured out that, hey, something definitely is wrong here. So the main character, Jim, and his buddy Gary were both preppers. They both had stockpiles of food at their home. They were both carrying get-home bags in their vehicle. So basically what happens next is they figure out that something's wrong, and they try to drive home. Now, the main character and the other characters did not fuel the business vehicles the night prior when they got there. Typically, they would have done this according to what they say in the book, but they did not do it this time for whatever reason. So the vehicles did not have enough gas to get them all the way to where they're going. So they get on the interstate and they're trying to drive back home, which is something I would greatly discourage anybody from doing. Avoid interstates at all costs in a grid down or any kind of really bad situation, civil unrest situation. Avoid interstates. So you can see this happening all around us. It's been happening for several years. People just standing in the middle of the interstates, forming lines and blocking them off. Yeah. In my semi, I carried my bug out bag. I carried several cases of water. I carried a lot of extra food, and I was armed. And then the government likes to make you believe that that's illegal by federal law. That's not true. That's completely not true. It can be discouraged, on a state-by-state basis, but yeah, you know how I feel about that, so I'm not going into it. But anyway, back to the book. Basically, they're trying to drive home. The cars are getting really low on gas. They pull into a fuel station to try to get some gas. They're unable to do it, needless to say, because there's so many people there trying to do the same things. A couple of them go into the gas station trying to get some supplies and water or whatever it was they were getting. Long story short, one of them ends up not surviving the encounter at the fuel station. And at that particular time, a couple of them realize the primary character is actually armed. He has a highly concealed, very small caliber firearm with him. I believe it was a .380. And a man is trying to, I don't remember exactly what he was trying to do, steal the car, maybe get things from him. He had a tire iron. He was going to hit the guy driving, which would have been Gary. And the main character, Jim, shows that he is armed and actually has to defend his friend with deadly force in that particular incident. And these are things that are happening throughout the book where deadly force is required for self-defense. And I mean, I'm not going to go into it too much, but yeah, that's just a very common theme throughout the book. Now, you can say that that may be a little far-fetched, but I encourage you to do some research because it's actually very common for people to have to defend themselves even right now, and it's getting worse by the day. So, yeah. Toilet paper prepper. How many rolls of toilet paper will a 380 go through? I'm not sure. You'd have to go and refer to Demolition Ranch for that particular test because I'm not doing it. Um, yeah, it is a very good book. I do have the link for it in the description. I put it in there just before I went live, so you might have to refresh to see the link if you were here prior. But yeah, the link for the Amazon paperback I think is $10 for the book. It's cheaper on Kindle, and I recommend the audiobook also. I was listening to a couple of the audiobooks for the later books in a few of my vehicles that I was driving while being a truck driver. So yeah, it's a very interesting book. Now, the guys go into a lot of the gear they have in their get home bags. A lot of the gear, actually, a lot of it is very real gear that you can purchase. The first book was written back in 2015, 2014, somewhere in that particular time frame. So some of this gear is a little bit out of date, but I do have a couple of the items that were recommended by this book. The book really opened my eyes to just what could happen when I'm so far away from my house. So yeah, I try not to do that anymore. I definitely don't want to go over the road and be hundreds, if not thousands, of miles from my home. Well, not thousands, but over 1,000 miles from my home. It's just a bad situation to put yourself in. You shouldn't be in that type of situation at all, ever. So the whole premise of the book is from the time where they lose the vehicles, they run out of gas on the side of the road. They're trying to get home. That's basically it. And they got at least a 200, I think it's like 150, 200-mile walk to get home. And all they have is two primary characters with their get home bags. And they end up with only one of the females following them because the other two opted to take the FEMA bus and ended up locked in a FEMA prison camp, which they go into more details in that in the second book, actually, about the second and third books about FEMA and how they are not your friend, which I found to be rather interesting. Rather interesting, but we're not talking about those books just yet. We're talking about the first one. Now, the trip home is obviously not a good trip. A lot of times, people are just doing bad things. People are trying to attack them and take what they have. People are attacking other people and taking what they have. And there are a lot of times where they have to basically defend themselves. Yeah, there are actually 8 books in the series currently. I think the 8th book just came out, and I haven't read that one yet, so I will be, looking into that very soon. Yeah, we do have FEMA states, and they go into that a lot in the books also about how FEMA has different jurisdictions and different areas that they have numbered, and they have all this set up and ready to go for when martial law kicks in. And I talked about that a little bit in my last video that was demonetized also, so I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, he has. The author has written a couple other book series too, and I haven't gotten into those yet, but it is on my list of things to read, so I will probably be doing that soon. So the trip home is rather a long trip. The third character who follows him, I can't remember her name. One of the female characters, she doesn't have any supplies with her like the other two do. She's wearing, just Walmart style shoes. She ends up with hurt feet from the shoes. They end up scavenging supplies from certain places for her to a makeshift backpack for things for her to carry. A couple of times they came across some food. They actually stopped at a certain place to visit a friend. The friend had a lot of extra supplies that he was able to share, so they were able to basically restock some of their supplies and managed to make their trip just a little bit easier. But a lot of bad things happened while they were in that particular place. Well, not a lot, but a few. And it, basically it goes back to things I say about leaving people bound and leaving survivors, because that's basically what they did. Somebody, was hurting people and they had to defend the other people using force, and a couple or just one of them got away and lived through it, and that caused problems for them a little bit later when they caught up to them. So yeah, keep that in mind if you're ever in that type of a situation also. uh yeah, Yeah, YouTube likes to block a lot of comments. I mean, going into YouTube blocking comments, every day I have comments that shouldn't be held for review on my channel, and I have to go through them and allow them to be in the comments on pretty much every video that I post. A lot of them. These comments are not anything bad for the most part. The only thing that my channel will block automatically is anything that's racist or anything that's too vulgar. Now, I do still allow most of the vulgar stuff to go through if it's a good message and you're not just, cussing your head off just to do it. So it's not my job here to censor people. I did not make this channel to censor myself or censor anyone else. So say whatever you want, as long as it's not racist, because that's just stupid. And I'll leave that there. So yeah. So there's several of the books that are free with Kindle Unlimited if you're paying for Kindle Unlimited, which is a monthly subscription. I don't know how much it is. So Hudao, no, I don't. I don't think I remember seeing the name at this particular until today. So yeah, nope, don't know. Do you? But like I said, anyway, going back to the book a little bit, Jim, just in the beginning of the book, when he had to use his firearm, one very key thing is he had the small caliber in his a very concealed holster that he always carried with him. And I remember a couple of the people that worked they were government employees for psychological, whatever it was, rehabilitation or something like that. They worked for the government. And a couple of the people were very, how to put it, put off, I guess, by the fact that he was carrying concealed on his person and had been doing it in their office. They were very offended by that. So after he had to use that, he actually a little bit later got into his get home bag and pulled out a larger caliber that he was carrying with him and ended up sharing the smaller caliber with the third person in their party. Well, keep an eye on him. I trust you to do your job there. It's all in your hands, man. I don't mind whatever you decide to do in that particular instance. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how much Kindle Unlimited is. I know it's a good thing to have if you read a lot of books. If you only read 1 or 2 books a month, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you read more than that, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Or if you have multiple people in your household that like multiple different types of books, definitely recommend that also. So, having extra things if you're in a survival or get home type of situation, or even a bug out situation, there's a very good possibility that you'll come across a friend or neighbor or somebody you trust. You may not want to trust them with a firearm, but you may want to trust them enough that, hey, follow me, I got some extra food, I have an extra backpack, just a little bit of extra supplies, because you can't do it by yourself. You really can't. You need at least, at minimum, one other person to watch your back. That way you can, at bare minimum, sleep in shifts if it comes down to it. You can, have somebody watching that way while you're watching that way. It's always recommended to have a group of people. Always recommended. So the Indiana mag that I'm trying to put together, we still have we only have 4 of us currently, 4 of us. And we are having an in-person meeting for the first time, I believe, on the 30th of this month. So if anybody's still interested in trying that out with us, if you live in the Indiana area or are willing to drive to, I think Greenwood, Indiana area is where we're planning it now. So if you're willing to drive that far, just send me an email, contact@grimsurvival.net, and I'll make sure you get an invite. So, how many people here have actually read the book so far and have any input? Because there is a couple other things. One key takeaway I got from it is he goes into a little bit of a backstory about the primary character and his grandfather. The grandfather was a very influential figure in his life, and I won't go into too many details about what happens, but basically the grandfather was constantly telling him to harden the F word up. I'm not going to say it on the channel, but you know what I mean. Go over to Angry Prepper. He'll tell you what the F word is if you want to. I don't mind it, but my kids watch this every now and then, and yeah, I'll keep it clean for that reason. But anyway, the grandfather constantly told him this very same statement a lot, and it stuck with him when the situation happened. He needed to harden up. And he was able to do so, find that within himself, and do that throughout the book, a little more so each and every time he ran into some kind of an issue. His friend Gary was also pretty well prepared. I think only one of them actually had a ham radio with. The other one had a solar powered little folding solar generator. It's actually the same one I bought that I keep in my bag. If you want to see that, I have a bug out bag video. It's somewhere. It's called my get home bag, or no, it's called my 200-mile bag, because that's what it was originally set up for. Hutch Homestead has challenged every prepper to take their bug out bag for an overnight, nothing but your bug out bag. And I was planning on doing that actually today, but things had prevented me from doing it. So I probably should have still done it, because going into a bug out situation while you're in a lot of pain would probably be the best way to test everything. Probably, but I opted out for that particular one. So yeah, I did pour my coffee finally. I have a small axe in my bug out bag, actually. It's a Granfors Brooks small forest axe. I keep it in there. And keeping extra supplies in my vehicle. So I would have to really go over, just what came from the bug out bag and what I added to it for my vehicle. Because in my vehicle, I have a hiking pack, I have a tarp, I have a wool blanket, I have tools, I have extra fire starting gear. I have a lot of stuff in my vehicle. So in the event that I have to bug out, more than likely taking my vehicle, unless for some reason all things have shut down. And if all things have shut down, you're probably not bugging out as quickly as you normally would. So you'd have a little more time to rethink what you're carrying. Like if you have a lot of electronics gear in your bag and, EMP happens and your electronics aren't working, there's no point in carrying your electronics gear. Dump it. Get rid of it. A lot of people are overly attached to certain items, especially their cell phones and their devices, something that people rely on way too much. And going back into that, see, I actually watched the movie Greenland yesterday while I was, trying to ignore the pain in my face. And very good movie. I highly recommend it. But in that movie, they are also trying to rely on these for their primary means of communication, relying on their cell phones. And obviously, there wasn't a power outage in that movie, but there was overuse of the devices. So that means all the lines were busy and people just couldn't talk back and forth. They go into that a little bit in the book, how the power line or the power's gone out and the cell phone towers start systematically shutting down because they're running out of fuel in their backup generators. And at some point, when he's high up on a cliff or a mountain, he was able to get a couple of texts through. And obviously, texting is the way to go if you're in a situation where your cell phone is not making calls, but you still have a signal. Texting will more than likely go through while a call won't, because it takes a lot less bandwidth to send a text. As long as it's not a media type text where you're sending videos or recordings, you're just sending the words. That will go through a lot quicker than a call actually will. So yeah, that is a very good point there, native and devout preppers. They did go onto the Appalachian Trail at one point to bypass populated areas. Quite a few interesting things happened while they're on the trail, but one thing to note is they were carrying hiking boots, both of the primary characters. And that's what I said about the female that had traveled with them. She was just wearing Walmart type tennis shoes or Skechers or whatever it was. Tennis shoes do not hold up very well. They have a very short shelf life, especially if you're using them every day. So one thing I highly recommend you keep if you don't wear them on a day-to-day basis is some kind of hiking boot or military boot in your vehicle. My primary boot, I've actually done an overview of them, is a Belleville Boot Company. It's a military style all-terrain insulated waterproof boot. I'm actually wearing them right now, and I wear them as my everyday. I have an extra pair of them in my vehicle for whatever reason. Whatever reason, in case mine fail, or if I was in a situation where I had to abandon my vehicle, I'd probably change out the used boots for the more new boots and go walking with those and just leave the used ones behind. There's nothing wrong with them at all. I've had them for, I'd say going on 6-7 months now, maybe getting close to a year now, and there's nothing wrong with them. They had a little tear that I think was caused by thorns in a trip I was taking through the woods. So, but the company actually sent me a brand new pair of the boots because I was filing a warranty claim. The boots have a warranty. So I filed a warranty claim on them, and they just sent me a new pair of the boots and told me to keep these. So I'm still wearing the ones with the tear in them, and yeah, I felt no need to break out the new ones at all. They're actually in plastic bags in the back of my vehicle. Also in the back of my vehicle, I have snow boots, which are just a Walmart brand. They're very insulated, waterproof snow boots. They go up a lot higher than my military boots. So in the event I'm stuck in deep snow, I can put them on. And that happens in my area occasionally. Not always, but occasionally. So the first book does go into a lot about how they are getting home. The second book goes into a lot of how they are defending their homestead and the problems they're having around their homestead with a certain group of neighbors and various other things that are happening around them. But I'm not going to go into the second book too much, but definitely would encourage everybody to go ahead and read the second book. We will talk about it probably a little bit after the holidays. Yeah, I didn't need to break them in. I agree with you for the most part, but when I put these boots on brand new, they were the most comfortable thing ever on my foot. I had no hot spots whatsoever. I was walking with them from day one. I've never had a pair of boots like this, never in my life. So I did not feel any need to break in the ones I have in the back of the vehicle at all. They fit so perfectly to my foot, just right out of the box. It was quite impressive, I must say. Challenge accepted. Yes. Read the books. Reading is good for you. It opens up your mind to thinking about different situations that you might get caught in if you're reading books like this. There's another book series. I can't remember the name of it for some reason right offhand. I think it's the What's Left of My World series. Actually, I think that's exactly it. What's Left of My World. It's written by a different author, and it has a main character is a teenage female. So yeah, definitely a book I will talk about soon because I am keeping up with that series as well. Very good book. That one is a different type of scenario, but still the same thing. Yes, I know, Hoot, you are worried about my feet, but you're welcome to. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I was going to say something about foot massages, but nope, not inviting Hoot to rub my feet. That's just weird. So no, thank you. Just not going to do it. The boots I'm wearing, I can't tell you the exact name of the style I have, but if you look up the Belleville Boot Company, it's out of Belleville, Illinois. They're all made in America. They are very comfortable. They are a military supplier, but you can purchase them as a civilian also, just with your regular card. And yeah, I definitely recommend you check out the Belleville Boot Company. I do have a video on them somewhere, probably from a few months ago, middle of summer, I think it was. Yeah, you can find the link for them and me going over their website in that particular video. Mine are not steel toe. I opted not to get the steel toe versions. They do have them though. They also have composite toe versions, which are said to be just as strong as the steel toe, but a lot lighter. But I just don't feel any need to have steel toe. I just don't. I know where my feet are going, and I don't plan on stepping in front of any vehicles that might run them over. And yeah, I don't go to areas that are highly industrial, and yeah, I just don't see the point in having steel toe. But I do have waterproof and insulated just because of the weather I live in. Gets very rainy, very wet, and sometimes very cold. So I did opt for waterproof insulated boots. Make my feet a little bit hot in the summertime, but it doesn't really bother me. And it's just a mild thing. If you wear thin socks, yeah, you're good to go. Yeah, if you drive forklifts, definitely recommend steel toe. But they do have steel toes on the website, like I said. So obviously, we've gone into the book a little bit. I won't give you the things that happen at the end of the book because not everybody was able to read it. So I'll go into more of the ending of the first book when I get into the second book. So yeah, I feel way better. Still really sore right here and swollen. I don't know if you can see it too well, but I feel very swollen right there. I can actually feel a big bump. So yeah, I'm sticking with my antibiotics. I'm not going to show you, but I will or tell you exactly where I got them. But needless to say, my fish had gotten sick one day and they needed antibiotics. Now, this thing on my nose came from my glasses rubbing there. Probably my own fault when I was, trying to punch myself in my own jaw. You know, if you are in a lot of pain when the thought of taking your knife and relieving the pressure comes to mind quite often. Yeah, because that's what it was. It was a lot of pressure and a throbbing. And I greatly considered just, yeah, relieving the pressure. I also considered my pliers on my multi-tool to relieve the pressure, if you know what I mean. It probably, I mean, if you've ever been in enough pain in any area of your body where you thought that cutting off that part would be less pain just to make it stop, you know you're in a lot of pain. But that being said, it does build a pain tolerance if you can, I guess you could almost call it meditating. Close your eyes, take deep breaths, stay calm, and focus on stopping the pain. You can really just isolate it. You can uh, find the focal point of where the pain is coming from, and you can I can manage to keep the pain in that localized spot when I concentrate on it, so it's not spreading and having pain all through my body, all through my face or my head, which did happen when I wasn't paying much attention. So yeah, it is very possible to control pain and to learn to condition yourself against pain. So one thing I want to talk about in about the book and about the scenarios or any survival type situation or civilization collapse type situation. And one thing that people don't think of is knowledge that is passed on. And we are seeing this more and more as time goes by about all the knowledge that has been lost from our ancestors that used to grow their own food because they had no other choice. They had no other choice, so they had to. So that knowledge has been lost. And that being said, in a grid down or collapse type situation, when nothing is online anymore, when the internet it's just not there anymore, the database and the servers that hold the information in the various places that they hold it are just not accessible anymore. If that happens, then we're going to lose a lot of knowledge because people rely so much on just typing it in 5 seconds and there it is. People rely on that like constantly. So knowledge of passing down information like how to build a house, how to build a skyscraper, how to engineer water pumps, how to engineer power systems, this knowledge could very easily be lost in a grid down, no internet type of situation. And if we started losing that knowledge, then obviously we have lost civilization altogether. So it's a very good possibility that civilization would take a long time to return to back to, even a resemblance of the kind of technology that we have right now. It would take a very long time because that knowledge can't be passed down except for maybe to an immediate family member, but is not going to be shared with a lot of people. And it's very possible that the family member or the person who has that knowledge doesn't survive the initial event or the initial collapse. And in that case, then that knowledge is completely lost. So then you've lost the knowledge of growing food. You've lost the knowledge of building a building or building a home. So I encourage everyone to gather books on such subjects. You don't even have to read them right now, but if you have the hard copy books, you will eventually have time, hopefully have time to learn that. And if you don't, maybe somebody else will come along someday that finds that information and say, hey, this is how they did that, and I can do that too. Like, for a good example, how to build a Berkey water filter system out of 2 5-gallon buckets. Video is online. You can find it. I made one. Don't put the filters upside down like I did. But yeah, it works really well. We've been using it quite often. We're filling up extra containers and things like that to store water. So has anybody heard of a bath bob? I think it's called a bath bob. It's a very large plastic container that you can put in your bathtub and fill it up with, I think, a little over 100 gallons of water, depending on the size of your tub and the size of this thing. And it would be a great way to store extra water in the event something starts happening where you need to quickly get something done before the power goes out if you know it's coming. So you just hook this thing up to the faucet in your tub or shower, you turn it on, it fills up with water, and then you plug it, and then you have a lot of extra water right there. So yeah, water bob, I'm pretty sure what it was called. Yeah. So anybody have any questions on the book or any questions in general while I'm still half sane and awake before I start talking crazy? Because I have something crazy to tell you. A friend of mine was suggesting something to me, and I thought it was hilarious, so I'm going to go into that a little bit. just a little bit because it was crazy. I'm trying to find the exact message so I can read it word for word because, yeah, I have crazy friends, or at least one of them. Yeah, I have one crazy friend. He lives, I don't know, about 900 miles from me. And that's a long story, but yeah. So, anyway, yeah, I don't think I can read the book to you. That would be copyright infringement. But I can direct you to videos of people who already do that. But yeah, I could actually direct you to those videos. If you type it into Google and type in audio book, then yeah, you can find it pretty easily. So yeah, I have heard that you can extract gel from cattails. Somebody said this in a comment earlier. You can extract the gel from them, and it's a very good pain reliever and anti-inflammatory. And I will definitely be looking into that a lot more this spring when cattails come back. So yeah. Anyway, my crazy friend had suggested that I make an Only You account or OnlyFans account. That's what it is. OnlyFans account. Does anybody know what that is? Because I had no clue what it was until he suggested it, and I looked into it. Well, we the people prepping, you should come to the meeting if you don't mind driving 3 hours to Greenwood, Indiana. I don't live in Greenwood, Indiana, so it's going to be a little bit of a drive for me also, but hey, I'll get there. So OnlyFans is a subscription-based thing, kind of like Patreon, except for you set the subscription. You can't set multiple tiers as far as I know, and you can upload the videos directly to them. And unlike Patreon, where you have to upload it somewhere else and post a link to Patreon. So the thing about these OnlyFans account is they don't really censor anything, so there's a lot of very explicit content on there. Explicit content. So it's been used by a lot of various YouTube personalities, a lot of Twitch streamers and gamers of various other channels. There's actually and I didn't realize this until I was researching it. There's actually, and no, I did not pay for the subscription, but there's actually a YouTube channel. I'm not going to mention their name. That it's a off-grid type of channel that have a lot of content up there, and I kind of read some of the description of what kind of content it was, and I wasn't going to go there. But yeah, on there, I'm not sure if I could actually post news videos or not, because while they might not censor explicit content, they might still censor that type of thing. So the thought behind it for me was maybe I could use this instead of Patreon to post the videos I want to post on Patreon, but instead post over there. The problem I have it with is on Patreon, I don't have any tiers set up. So you can join Patreon for as little as $1 a month and see what kind of craziness I throw up over there. But for this, I would have to set a baseline price, and I think the lowest price you can set is actually $10 a month. So if anybody thinks I should do that, let me know. Yeah, I will definitely consider it. So yeah, John Wright, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Yeah, it would definitely be an interesting thing. Now, like I said, they don't limit explicit content over there. So my friend's suggestion is that I do a bunch of funny type joke type things over there, because a lot of people apparently go in there to see their favorite YouTube or Twitch streamer with very little to nothing on, and I'll just leave it at that because that's what they're using it for. So my friend suggested I make videos, and I will go into the one I remember because I didn't find the message. A video called Grim Tickles His Pickle, and then in the video I have a feather and an actual pickle, and yeah, that's what one of his suggestions was. And I'm just like this. My friend has lost his mind, and that's just the kind of suggestions he was giving me. And yeah, I probably would not do things like that. So yeah. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Maybe I would, because that's funny. It really was funny. But yeah, no, no. But as an alternate to Patreon, I kind of considering just making it just for that reason. Like I said, my news video I posted just earlier today, a couple hours ago, was demonetized by YouTube because they don't like when you talk about content like you know, I mean, these videos, the compilation was pretty much everything you could find on mainstream media. Mainstream media doesn't get demonetized for it, but I do for just reposting that. It could have been the thing that came from Rebel News. On Rebel News, they had a video where somebody was being tased for playing hockey. Yeah, go check out Rebel News or check out the video I posted earlier that I talk about that there. Yeah. Homesteading with my goat? No, no, no. I don't have a goat. A thong? Yeah, there's a good suggestion. How much would people pay to see me in a thong? I mean, no, thank you. I'm not whoring myself out for views or money. Never, ever. Not doing it. Not doing it. I mean, one person suggested I just unbutton my shirt a little bit more while I'm making YouTube videos, but no, I'm not doing that either. People are just, this YouTube stream's already going into the gutter. It really is. How do all of my live streams end up in the gutter by the end of it? Will somebody please let me know that? Brokeback Prepper. You got to go talk to John about that. You see if he wants to make an OnlyFans account too. Yeah, we are not doing a collaboration. We are not doing that kind of a collaboration. I'll just dress like Hugh Hefner. It has been suggested that I get a suit and sit here in a suit one day doing live streams. I thought about it because I have a suit. I just have to go get it dry cleaned. But it doesn't fit very well. It's a little too big for me because I've got skinnier since I stopped driving trucks. I've never been really heavy. I think the most I've ever been was like maybe 10 pounds over my normal weight. But yeah, suit doesn't fit anymore. So yeah. Prepping with Playmates. Yeah, I could do prepping with Playmates and get some like G.I. Joes and start. Yeah, that would that would be funny. We are all real. I try to be exactly that way every time I'm getting on. Anytime I do any kind of video, I have no ability to be anything other than myself. So yeah, just no ability whatsoever. And I can tell you I'm a very sarcastic person. I've been known to be a very flirty person occasionally. And yeah, I mean, I'm just me. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. Coffee. We need more coffee. Leslie, hello from Oregon. Well, hello from Indiana. How's the weather up in Oregon? Or I guess yeah, I'm trying to say it. How are the riots going? I mean, what was it? Portland was the latest takeover where they take over a block or two in Portland because they think that's going to get them something other than hungry. Rainy, yeah, it's starting to rain. It rained here yesterday. It's supposed to rain again, I think, tomorrow. So yay for rain. If we have rainwater collectors, rain is a good thing, right? I guess there's a song about that too. They stopped playing that song. It was who was that sang that song? I can't remember his name. Very popular country singer. Sang rain is a good thing. They stopped playing it last year when all the cornfields started flooding and the rain was killing off all the crops. Yeah, they didn't play it on the radio at all. Kevin Grip, why are you smelling tear gas in the morning? I mean, I'm just curious. That's just, yeah, I don't know why you're having tear gas in the morning. Have you been walking around without a mask on? Because that'll do it. That'll do it in certain areas. Barrels to collect rain is something I definitely need to invest in. Maybe one day I will definitely go into getting a few of those. They're not cheap from what I can find. I've heard several places that you can find them for free. Doing that for me is kind of rough because I have looked into it, but no luck so far. Washington State, yeah, tear gas in the morning is pretty much how that works up there. Anywhere on the West Coast, I think, is a common occurrence lately. There's a good idea. Trusting God first. That's a brilliant idea. I should definitely do that, right? It's like, hey, I seen you on Doomsday Preppers. Yeah, see how that works out for me. String gets cut off. Although I talked to him the other day. He said I can say whatever the blank I want on his channel. Quite literally. He didn't say blank either. I just blanked it out myself. But, you know, just keep in mind that when I'm on the Angry Prepper channel, which is coming up in 2 days, Yeah, 2 days from now at 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be Tuesday the 22nd, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, when I'm over there, I might be a little more vulgar than what you hear me over there because my kids don't watch his channel. So, and I'm a truck driver, so I got some words that I just usually leave out of this particular channel. Um, yeah, the Bible says, "Thou shalt not curse." You got to take that very literally. It's not talking about the words that people choose to use. It's talking about actually cursing people, not cursing at, but actually cursing. So yeah, keep that in mind. It's very very literal book, especially the first 3/4 of it. Yeah, or I guess it's the first 2/3, whatever you want to say. Food grade barrels for $20. I need to find some of those. Uh, So what are we talking about now? What are we talking about here? It says God helps those who help themselves because being lazy about caring for yourself isn't a good thing. Yeah, I agree with that completely. You should all definitely care for yourself. Personal hygiene being a number one thing. There's a lot of people that I've gotten around, especially in truck stops, who have never heard of personal hygiene. If you've ever been into a truck stop for any prolonged period of time, you will find these people. You will find them. Yeah, I would definitely throw Angry Prepper off his game if I start talking about Brokeback jokes over there. Like, hey, me and John, we got this thing going. No, I'm not saying that. Trust in God first. I encourage you to be over at Angry Prepper, 9 p.m. Eastern time on the 22nd. And you can just go ahead, post it in all caps because his chat goes a lot faster than mine. We have 41 people in here and 39 likes. Only 41 people. I usually have more than that. Did I run everybody off? Get metal barrels because they're going to contaminate the water. Yeah, I agree. But metal barrels are really expensive and even harder to. I can find them online, but yeah, they're really expensive. I mean, yeah, more than my budget allows for. They're also a lot heavier, so moving them would be a challenge also. Although I think I could make them fit, but yeah. I went for a drive earlier in my Durango and the heat wasn't working, so I'm wondering if that's a problem that I have to fix next in my vehicle. Heat not working is a problem for sure. Definitely will be wearing wool socks next time I drive that vehicle. I found out the hard way also. Yeah, I've been told to ask him what he thinks of spam. I already know his views on it. We share similar views on it because I don't like it that much. I've had it before, you know, deep fry it or fry it in some oil and or some butter. It tastes a little better, but even then, I don't know. It's just a consistency. And besides the fact I don't eat pork anymore, so spam is just out of the diet and out of the preps. Although I still have quite a bit of it, just because it was cheap one time and I got a bunch. Because, hey, when you're really hungry, I'm sure you'll eat things you don't like. If you've never been really hungry, I have. And yeah, you definitely eat things that you would not normally eat when you're hungry. I am definitely not eating spam. Nope, not going to do it. Maybe I'll find a can of it and just hold it up the whole time, set it behind me somewhere, put a shelf here and just set some spam right there, maybe a few or 3 or 4 cans, and tell him it's his Christmas gift this year, something like that. Something along those lines, just for the fun of it. I would have to collect it though. I think I still have some somewhere. Yeah, I've heard of the turkey spam, and I've considered trying it out. I really have. I've considered it, but I don't really trust it. You'd have to really read the ingredients and make sure they're not putting pork fat. Just because it's turkey spam doesn't mean it doesn't have pork in it. Yeah, I do follow Angry Prepper quite often. I find him to be a very real person. People in different areas have different ways of talking, and not everybody has the same dialect. And a lot of people are what a lot of other people consider very vulgar. To me, that's just an everyday occurrence in basically the places I go because you hear that all the time on the radio. You hear it all the time on the, even on the TV. If you have a TV, which I don't, but occasionally I get near people who do, and they have it on for some weird, annoying, obnoxious reason, and it makes me want to smash it, but I never do. But yeah, Hutch Homestead, how's it going? Glad you made it. I was just talking about your bug out. Well, I wasn't just talking about it. It's been a while, but I was talking about your bug out bag challenge. And I agree that everyone should definitely take the challenge. I was planning on doing it today, but I couldn't do it. Well, I could have done it, but I just opted out of doing it because of the enormous amount of pain I was in until about 6 a.m. when I finally did go to sleep. Patriot Cowgirl, how's it going? About time you showed up. Yeah, we are winding this down already. We are almost at an hour already, and yeah, my coffee's still hot, so that's good. Yeah, but I'm not eating freedom seeds, so I don't have to really, it's metal. I can handle the metal, and I don't eat them. So yeah, I have about 15 of them on my right hip right now, and 15 more in my left pocket. So yeah, a total of 3 of them on my person as we speak. 30. Did I say 3? 30 of them. Yeah. My coffee is just black coffee. It came from a roaster, I believe, out of Washington State, actually. And it's called Vista Coffee. And the particular blend this is, or not blend, but roast is called Moonrise. The bag's sitting over there because I just made it before I went live, and I just left it there. I got to go put it back in the freezer. But yeah, this is just black coffee made with a French press. The French press is still sitting next to me right there. And yeah, coffee is now in the, this is actually a 10-ounce Yeti tumbler, I guess. So yeah, this coffee could use a little, just a nip of something a little stronger in there, just to be quite honest with you. But I was doing that yesterday because one thing that really made the pain numb was whiskey. Just holding whiskey right there on the spot that was hurting, and it numbed it really well, and I had some relief for about 10 minutes. So I was just swallowing the whiskey after I was done because I thought spitting it out would be a waste. So that video I made was around 4 a.m. I was highly loopy in that particular video, but I opted to post it anyway because, hey, you get what you get when you're over here at Grim Survival. This is just what it is. Yep, pork products, a lot of people do love them. I follow a biblical diet, and I'll just leave it at that. This is not that video, so yeah. Yeah, the whiskey did help quite a bit, actually. More than anything else. I had tried the clove oil. I had tried stinging nettle. I've tried the tea bags before. I tried, what else have I tried? I've tried a lot of things. Yeah, I had some peroxide-based mouthwash. I tried that. I tried doing pulling, if you know what that is, with coconut oil. I popped a couple of antibiotics, which I think was the main reason I'm not in pain today. And yeah, but the biggest thing that helped was the whiskey. I also tried salt water, warm salt water, and tried doing pulling with that also. Somebody suggested I just put salt on it because it would draw out the whatever it was in there causing the swelling and the pain. I never got around to that point, but I will try that if it happens again. Hopefully it does not, but yeah, try it again. All right, so what did I miss? Did Hutch do something with hot peppers that I missed? Because I'm going to have to go find that video now. Hutch Homestead, everybody, please go over and give him a sub. He definitely needs more subscribers. He doesn't have nearly enough, and he definitely is one of those channels I recommend you go over there. Give him a sub. Tell him the gremlins are in the house, and yeah, very interesting person to watch over there. I quite enjoy his content, so yeah, I should comment more on his videos. I should. Apple pie or blueberry? Apple pie. And yeah, I ran out of whiskey at some point. So just leave it right there. Yeah, nothing can live on salt. That is a very good point. And I do have a 50, or not 50, I got a 50-pound bag and a 5-gallon bucket of just table salt. and I will break that out of the shed one of these days and show it to you just so you can see that it's still good. I didn't do anything with it but dump it in a food grade bucket and put a lid on it. And that's my salt, because you don't have to do anything else with salt. Yeah, support all of your local businesses. Prepper Days Prepper Challenge. I will have to go check that out. I definitely will. I still feel a lot of swelling right there, and yeah, fortunately, I haven't had any extra painkillers since about 4 or 5 a.m. and doing pretty good. I do know somebody who had some Oxy that they were offering me that I could have went and got, but I opted for the whiskey instead. So yeah, there we go. I'll just chew some hot peppers. That'll knock out the pain really quickly. Nope, it's not kosher salt. It's just salt. Oh, actually, it might have been kosher salt. I don't know. But yeah, I get the joke. I do. My brain's not functioning at 100% capacity today. It's just not. So yesterday I was supposed to record a live stream event that was going to be posted as a premiere on the Homestead Osh channel, and we have had to reschedule that due to me not being able to talk straight yesterday. I probably would have said all kinds of crazy things on their channel, and they would have had to edit the entire video, so which just edit me out of it. So I just, yeah, it was a bad idea at that particular moment. But we are going to be doing this very soon, so go over to Homestead Osh, give a sub. I'm going to be on the channel one day soon, and I'll just, yeah, one day soon. Yeah, don't forget antibiotics can stop your contraceptives from working properly. I found that out the hard way. I did. She's now 9 years old. So just keep that in mind. Lord Mage, how's it going? I like your name. That's an awesome name. Use the Carolina creeper pepper for tooth pain. No thanks. No, I'm not a big fan of hot peppers. I'm not one of those people who can take the pepper spray to the face and just walk it off. No, that would put me down. It would, and then I'd be firing aimlessly in front of me, and that would be bad. So, yeah. Yeah, I think the world isn't going crazy. I think they arrived quite a while ago. Like, as a whole planet, we've arrived. Now we're just seeing how much farther into it we can go. So that's my opinion on the whole situation right there. I'm wondering at what point YouTube says you can't make a video unless you're wearing a mask in it. I'm wondering when that's going to happen, because I predict that to be in our future, that you're not allowed to make a YouTube video without your mask on, just in case you're spreading computer viruses. Coffee. This is my second cup of coffee today. Second. The first one I had about 1 p.m. because I went to bed around 7 p.m. when the pain died down enough for me to actually sleep while I was sitting up. And then eventually I fell over. And then I woke up around noon. So, yeah. So, yeah, about 5 hours of sleep and 2 cups of coffee. So we are over an hour now. I'll probably be wrapping this up very soon. Like I said, I did watch that Greenland movie. Very good movie. Basically, the premise is a world-ending event of an asteroid impact. The very beginning of the movie, I'll tell you, was extremely realistic. And realistic by saying that the mainstream media was lying to everybody, saying, no, it's not going to hit Earth. It's not going to hit Earth. And then fragments of it started hitting. And yeah, it was a very interesting, very good movie in my opinion. I typically don't watch movies because I just don't. But Angry Prepper had recommended it, so I went and watched it anyway. Rip Curl is in the house. There's another channel I definitely recommend you guys go check out, is Rip Curl. Very good content over there as well. How did I get it to watch? Full of Hope? I can't tell you that. I can't say that on a video. If you want to know, I'll email it to you. I can actually upload it to Dropbox and send you a link. But That's as much information as you're getting on this live stream for that particular topic. So anybody have any other questions before I call it? Be Ready Today is a very good channel. I've been meaning to contact him about doing the live stream. We had talked about it a little bit, but I had gotten really distracted. So yeah, I will contact him again just to make sure we do that. We have, I'm going to say we have different views on certain things. Different views. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, still a very good channel. I definitely recommend it. Hey, profanity isn't a bad thing in videos. I mean, it's not. I just opt out of saying certain things because, like I say, usually my kids watch me every now and then, and I just don't feel the need to make their vocabulary any worse than it already is. So, yeah. Oh yeah, I would like to see Wayne take the Prepper Days challenge. That would be interesting. You should definitely post that video. Let's see if he eats some hot peppers. A lot of people can just eat them like they're eating candy, and it doesn't phase them or affect them at all. So that being said, a lot of those very same people can take pepper spray to the face, and it has no effect on them. So James, how you do a live stream is you go onto your YouTube dashboard and you click the create button. And if you are eligible for live streams, you'll have a live option. If you don't have the live option, then you haven't met the criteria that YouTube has for doing a live stream. Yeah, we all do it. Definitely. Metal for Breakfast says sometimes we cuss. It's cool. Sometimes he cusses a lot. I think it's a he. Yeah, don't we all? I mean, if you've ever been in traffic, driving through rush hour traffic through a major city, and you say you don't cuss, I don't believe you. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I don't believe you because everybody does it, right? Uh, we the people prepping, you have to have over 1,000 subscribers before they will unlock mobile live streaming. They will allow, I don't remember what the criteria is for just doing live streams over a computer, but it's less than 1,000. But if you ever wanted to do a live together, you don't need that. I can send you a link. You can log in. We'll do a live on my channel. That would be probably pretty entertaining. And yeah, you could do it with your cell phone. So yeah, it's about that time. I do have to go here in just a minute. I'll take one last question if it's a good one. Just post it in all caps so I know it's a question. And even though my chat's not going very fast, I still tend to miss things. I really do. I get talking and staring at the camera and not at the comments. And yeah, I miss things. So oops. I don't mean to miss things. I really try not to miss things. But hey, sometimes I do. So I believe Prepper Nurse 1 will be live 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe it looks like Full Spectrum Survival and Christina are both live right now. That was posted at 7. Both of them went live about 8 minutes ago. So definitely go check out Christina if you haven't done so already. There's a lot of interesting content on her channel as well. Full Spectrum Survival, if you don't know who that is, I got to ask you what rock you've been under because that's a very good channel to go check out. Also, I'm going to see if I can contact Full Spectrum Survival and tell him I want him to come on the channel, or I want to be on his for a live. I've also tried to send an email to Bjorn. I'm not going to try to say the rest of his name. Bjorn is a Norrish YouTuber, also an author, and I've invited him to my channel. I haven't gotten a response yet, but hey, that would be definitely interesting. The bug out challenge, the rule is only to use your bug out bag and whatever's in it, nothing extra. And do it for one night, one overnight. So yeah, definitely recommend everyone doing that. If you haven't never done that, then how do you know your stuff works? How do you know you can actually bug out if you've never tried? I mean, just like everything else in life, you don't just go and do 9 times out of 10, you have to go and do several times before you get good at it. No, I don't want anybody wearing G-strings. I really don't. Oh, please don't. Yeah, I planned to do it actually today, but I had other things come up. But I will try to get to it sometime this week because I've actually been planning a camping trip in general. So I'll just make that my camping trip. I'll go down a hiking trail somewhere and find a campsite and just hang out with my bug out bag and my phone, because I use my phone for all my recording. It's why I still have it. Otherwise, I would have probably trashed the thing. This is a Galaxy Note 10, by the way. And yeah, there's always a lot of fingerprints all over it. Yeah, current temperature in an area I don't live in is 35 degrees. I got to update that thing because anytime I drive out of my area, it starts telling me the temperatures in other areas. Very weird. Rip Curl says, let me know when you want to do a live. I am there. Yep, I definitely have quite a few of them I'm trying to do, and you are definitely on the list. So just send me best times for you anytime after the 22nd and before the 25th, probably. I don't mind doing it on the 25th because I'm not doing anything else that day. It's not a day I celebrate. It's just not. So yeah, I would definitely like to have you on the channel. It would be a lot of fun. And yeah, I've tried to get Victor on the channel too. He seems to not like the idea. I've tried to get Victor to come over for a live stream from the Alaska Prepper channel. You guys, I'm sure you know who Victor is. And yeah, he's not giving me a yes on that. So, oh well, I'll try again. I'll just keep bugging him until we can talk him into it. So here's a challenge for everybody before I go, because I'm going to go here in just a second. But the challenge for everybody is every time Alaska Prepper goes live and you see Victor, tell Victor to come on my channel for a live stream. I would just challenge everybody to do that. That would be quite entertaining just to have the guy on the channel because I think he's funny. I want to see how many dislikes I get on my channel if I do get him on here, because that would be funny too. I would think it would be funny at least. So, hey, anyway, I do have to go now, guys. Thank you all for showing up. Really appreciate the support and you guys being here, and the support yesterday with the pain and all the prayers was very much appreciated. Very, very much appreciative. Rick Curl, I'll definitely have you on the channel. Just let me know what best times are for you, because yeah, my times are open. Most days are very open. So just let me know. And yeah, I definitely have to go now, guys. So thanks for watching. Yeah, don't forget to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whichever one you prefer. Doesn't matter, because they both do the exact same thing. They help the channel be found in search engines. So yeah, I would appreciate it either way. And yeah, have a good night, everyone. Have a very blessed day. Try to stay safe for sure. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which is a very short list. And I will see you next time.